Are you just going through the motions today? Are you pleasing man? Or are you pleasing God? I want to thank each and every one for tuning in tonight. I'm sorry I missed the Opening the Doors broadcast at 4, but I didn't go to bed about 10 o'clock this morning. I was going to broadcast at about 8, and I just couldn't go to sleep. So I kind of overslept. I didn't wake up about 5. But anyways, I'm doing this broadcast. This is a special one. And I'm also doing one on the New Hope Bible Study, which I was going to be doing today on the Opening the Doors. So tune into both of those. And tomorrow we will be back at 4 again doing the Opening the Doors broadcast. Joyce Meyer said this: you can either be a God pleaser or a people pleaser. Which one are you? The question's asked, which one are you tonight? You know, it's a very common thing a lot of preachers will tell you, that we know how to please men. We know how, and we know what they need to hear. We know what they want to hear. But we can't do that. We've got to preach what God puts upon our hearts. We've got to tell you that sin is sin and no sin's going to enter in. We've got to tell you that there's a heaven to gain and a hell to shun. We've got to preach the truth. No matter if we step on some toes or not, we have to obey God. And you have to obey God tonight. You can't serve two masters. Either you please God or you please man. As long as you please a man, and preaching what man wants you to preach, or saying what man wants you to say, or doing what man wants you to do, you're not pleasing God. And the one we need to think about anyways is God. Galatians chapter 1 verse 10 through 12. For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I still please men, I will not be a bondservant of Christ. But I make known to you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached by me is not according to man. For I neither received it from man, nor was I taught it, but it came through the visitation of Jesus Christ. God has revealed it to us. Man didn't save us, and man can't take it away. In our last study, Paul made it clear that you better not alter the message of Christ towards the salvation, or you'll be cursed. Pretty serious stuff. Now that brings us to Paul's dealing with the people in this letter. Paul says in verse 10, for I do not persuade men, for I now persuade men, seeking approval, obey, or God. For do I seek to please men? For if I am still pleased men, I will not be a bondservant of Christ. Why would Paul now feel it necessary to say this? It is believed that false teachers was questioning his apostleship and likely accusing Paul of acting like a Jew when among the Jews, but acting another way when among the Gentiles. Paul makes it clear that he does not care about pleasing men, and that's how we should be today. We see this problem also in Colossians 3:22 and 23. Not with eye service as men pleasers, but in sincerity of the heart, fearing God, in whatsoever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not to man. Personally, I don't like people getting upset with me. But I must first be willing to say whatever God says, even if those who are lost, unsaved, don't like it. They think the message of the cross to be foolishness, or they don't want to hear about sin. They don't want to hear that it's a straight way tonight. They don't want to hear that there's things going to keep you out of heaven. They don't want to hear about there's a real hell tonight, that you'll burn forever. They don't want to hear of the torments. They don't want to hear that you can't go out partying on Saturday night and raise your hands on Sunday morning and praise God. They don't want to hear that you can do all ungodly, cuss and use a foul language, doing all this ungodly stuff. and then crying, Lord, Lord. They don't want to hear that you can backslide tonight, that you can turn your back on God. They want to think that they can do anything they want to do and still be a Christian. But it's not that simple. It's a straight way. And sin is sin, and no sin's going to enter in. We must stay true to the Scriptures, which means we cannot please men and God. We can't be both. Remember, the gospel message is not what a non-repentant sinner wants to hear. And it is clear here that Paul admits he was once a man-pleaser. If I still please men, then I will not be a bondservant of Christ. Verse 11, but I make known to you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached by me is not according to man.